Hello, everybody, and welcome to Virtual Trek Con. This is the Star Trek Movie Universe panel. Joining us are Darnell Davis, Tracee Cocco, Rico E. Anderson, and Darth Schuhe, all of whom are presumably lifelong Star Trek fans. They got to set foot on the set of the Star Trek movies, which is pretty awesome. How you guys doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us.
So first, I'm just going to go around the room and say which movies you're in. Darnell Davis, you were in Star Trek 6, right? Yes. You were a Klingon. Rico E. Anderson, you were in the Star Trek 2009 movie, as was Darth Schuhe. I was also in the 2009 movie and Star Trek Into Darkness 2013. And Darth, go ahead and put your phone on silent. And Tracee Cocco was in the first 3 Next Generation movies as Lieutenant J, right?
Yes, and the Borg Queen stunt double.
Nice.
Oh.
In First Contact.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with you, Darnell. How long have you been a Star Trek fan?
I don't remember any time not watching Star Trek. Star Trek has been there my entire life. Literally, I watched it from the beginning, and I've been as long as I can remember on Sundays when they started doing it just once a week, and then when they played it every night, the reruns, so I've always been there. Love it.
And Tracee, were you a Star Trek fan before you started working on the show?
Not that big of one, no. I did watch the, one with William Shatner,
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get into it until, when I got on, I had no idea what I was, getting into. And then, wow, yeah, craziness. So, I basically really started watching it when, I was on. It sounds kind of stupid, but that's how it happened.
Right, a lot of people.
What about you, Darth?
When did they start the reruns? Like early 70s? I started watching it right around the early 70s. No, it's been my whole
you weren't
life.
Born
pretty
yet.
Much. Yeah, that's close enough. No, I remember as a kid, when you spin around as a kid and you're like all dizzy, and whenever I would do that when I was a kid, I would think of I was imagining I'm on the bridge when they would get attacked, and they're doing their little fake. So even my whole entire life, it's like a part of, like, I don't know, breastfeeding or something. It's like just something that's always been in your life. Breastfeeding has always been in my life. By the way, yeah.
Okay.
Just to clarify.
Anyway, so you have children, I guess. Rico, and Rico, you became a Star Trek fan with Discovery, right?
Yeah, I can't follow up Darth here, man. I gotta go. No, I became Discovery. No, I became a Star Trek fan during reruns of the original series. I remember coming home from school, and how they would have like those cartoon lineups, and they would also have like old school like TV series lineups. And I remember the original series was one of them, and so watching those, and of course getting it, when Next Gen kicked in the movies. And so I became a Star Trek fan at an early age as a little boy.
Yeah. So fast forward a bit to when you found out that you were in fact going to set foot on a Star Trek set. We'll start with Darnell, since chronologically speaking, he was the first of us to set foot on a Star Trek set. So before you were ever even there, did it hit you? Were you like, oh my God, I'm actually going to be on a Star Trek set?
You know what? One of the guys told me, dude, they're looking for tall people, people that fit your size. And I was like, okay, I'll go down there and, give it a shot. And, they needed Klingons. And so, because the movie is full of Klingons, and went down there and, in the audition process, just, oh, okay, you look like it. Okay, you can do it. And I was, wow, that was pretty easy. And I went down there and turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life. it really, I was early here in Hollywood, so I hadn't been here very long, and to go down there and to be a lifelong Star Trek fan, and to get to go there and play every day, put on that makeup every day, to meet all these people that I have been loved my entire life every single day. It was great, so I had a great time. It was one of my best experiences as an actor in Hollywood, and I was barely acting. I did a little stunt thing when they were having me floating around the ship, but it was more fun for me than anything else. And just being there for a month and a half or 2 months or whatever it was
wow, that long.
Yeah, it was a movie, so, and then like I said, they needed plenty of Klingons. So if you watch the movie, you'll see there's Klingons with makeup, and then in the back there's people that just had on masks. I was lucky I got to have makeup on every day. And so, you start early, 2, 3 in the morning, you go down to Paramount. I live close to Paramount, so I just walked to Paramount every day. And then started, and you were on the same sets as Next Generation. So one of the coolest things, I would go around and I would read those little signs that everyone talks about that had little jokes on there that you didn't know what it says. If when it's far away, you just think it's something technical, but when you're close up, it's a little joke, and that was pretty cool. So yeah, it was a great experience. I met so many people, and one of my favorite, of course, was Brock Peters was in that movie. And
wow, yeah.
He took to me because one week we were up in Simi Valley, and we were shooting the Kittimer Accords, and he took to me, and he just started talking to me, and he was telling me all these stories, and he's such a nice guy. It was just I have all those kind of experience with all these different people that were in the show. So it was really, really great, and I really enjoyed that experience with the people. I got to meet Mark Leonard, and Kim Cattrall was in that movie, and
so
all these different people.
Darnell, did Michael do your makeup? Did Michael do your makeup?
I think his name was, the person that did my makeup was Gil. And
okay.
His last name started with a G. It was 2 G's. I think his first name was Gil, and I remember him passing away. I remember seeing his name that he had passed away some time ago, maybe a couple of years ago. But they had a huge makeup staff, because there were, for those of you who've seen the movie, that there are aliens, not just Klingons, just because it's Kittimer, so they have Romulans, they have Vulcans, they have aliens that you've never seen before. It was a ton of aliens there. So the makeup staff was amazing. The last night we were having such long days. We were staying up in a hotel in Simi Valley. We went to all the Klingons got together. We went to the club and the hotel that night. And then it was like, okay, time to go to work. It's 1 o'clock. So we were up the entire night.
Man.
Oh my God.
Went and got our makeup on. We worked that last day 22 hours. So we were up all that time.
Holy cow.
But it was fun.
It was the time of your life. It was the time of your life. I mean.
Hey guys, real quick, we want to welcome Mr. Jason Matthew Smith. How are you, Jason?
Sideways.
I'm trying to figure out how to change my background. How do you do that?
Well, first, can you turn your camera horizontally?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
See, technologically challenged here.
That's okay. That's better. Great. Thanks.
What's up, buddy?
So for everybody out there, Jason Matthew Smith was in all 3 of the 2009, 2013, 2015 movies, correct? The JJ movies?
Yes, correct. Well, yes, sort of, because the third one, they cut my scenes out entirely. But it's weird. It was like a progression. In the first movie, I had more stuff, and then the second one I had more scenes, but they ended up showing less, and then the third I had giant scenes and they ended up showing nothing. So it's kind of
Right, but there's kind of a silver lining to all that, right? It's kind of in a way, it's a good thing that some of the scenes were cut out, right? Or no?
Yes, because I believe I hold the record of the longest living red shirt.
Yeah,
Ice.
ever. Well, at least in those movies.
I didn't even see you there, man.
What's going on, dude?
You look good, bro.
Thank you. It's you too. It's great to see you, man.
So, Jason, let me ask you this. Everybody at home knows you as Cupcake, the character Cupcake in the movies. But did you have an actual name on the script that was different? Like, what did they call you? What was your name?
Character's name is actually Lieutenant Hendorf. I don't know where. Well, in the first movie, the role was actually listed as Burly Cadet.
Right.
Weird. When I actually auditioned for this thing, I didn't even know. I knew it was Star Trek, but nobody really said it was Star Trek. And the script that they handed me, I don't even think it had like Farm Boy 1, Farm Girl 2. It had Star Trek-y in it, and I just read it on camera somewhere in Burbank, and then next thing at a casting director's office, and then they called me up and said, "Yeah, you got the job." I was like, "What?" And that was cool. And then even showing up on set for that first movie, the character name was still Burly Cadet, and I was like on a mission to talk to. When I first met JJ, I was like, "Hey, what's up, JJ?" I was like, "Yeah, we got something about this name, man. It's Burly Cadet. It's He's like, "Yeah, but you're Burly Cadet number 1." I was like, "No, that ain't gonna work, man." I was like, "What about something cool like Apollo or Starbucks?" Like, dude. And then I start every day. It became a running joke during that first week or so on Star Trek, the first one. I would just pepper him with names all day long. What about this one? What about this one? And I think finally, during the second and third movie, he didn't want me to pepper him anymore, so he actually gave the character name of Lieutenant Hendorf.
Right.
Who I guess is actually in the original series canon, at least in the Wikipedia when I looked it up.
Really?
There exists.
Rico and Darnell have good original series knowledge. Do you guys remember that?
And what was the name?
Lieutenant.
I don't remember.
You gotta look at Wikipedia.
Got it. Memory Alpha would have it.
Yeah. Actually does that stuff, but they said it was, actually a character from the original series.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
That appeared maybe once for 5 seconds.
That's enough for us nerds.
Jason, 2009 is my favorite Star Trek movie. It really is. It makes me cry within the next. I know people are in shock when they hear this. It makes me cry within 5 minutes. If any movie can make me do that, it has me hooked.
There are only 2 movies that have done that, right? There was the 2009 movie with the whole Kelvin scene, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, the other one is Up. Pixar's Up.
Exactly.
Oh, Up, mate.
Exactly. That I couldn't even get through that. I was just I was painful. But I wanted to ask you, in the second movie, you guys go down to the Klingon planet, and then there's a shootout, and you disappear. And I was like, what happened? So what happened to you? What was the
situation? Man, that was a crazy week there. We were shooting, I think it was a couple weeks. We were shooting down at in Sony in Culver City. And we walk into the sound stage. It was freaking unbelievable. Like the sets and the set pieces and how everything looked and smelled and felt. They had to put kitty litter all over the floor, which wasn't very pleasant to run in. because I don't know if you've ever tried to run in kitty litter
all the time
on a concrete. I kept wiping out left and right. You know, you got like designer boots on that aren't like really fully gripped. And but anyways, that scene that we shot was very the whole progression was very, very different than what you saw on screen. JJ is notorious for shooting alternate versions of the same scene so that not even the actors really know what is going to. I don't even think JJ really knows what the final product is going to be. He just kind of gets in there in the editing room and kind of sees which version of it works the best. And if somebody at the studio, whatever, gives him a note, says, you know, this storyline isn't really going well. Can we change it? He's like, yeah, which version do you want? A, B, or C? Here they are. So the way that we shot that and the way that it actually turned out was very, very different. And I actually shot a death scene in that particular scene where a Klingon chopped my head off with a one of those blades, those really wicked looking blades.
Blacklift?
Batleth.
Yeah. What are they called?
Batleth, or it might have been a Mechleth if it was just a short one. Was it the big one?
I think it was like curved on both ends, or so. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be Batleth.
It was big. It was a bat.
Yeah, it was very big, very scary, and they had two different versions of it. One was like dulled, and the other was sharp, as sharp as a freaking razor blade.
Oh, lovely.
So that, you know, when they show it close up or whatever, it looks nasty. And I talked to my stunt guy. He comes up to me. He's in full Klingon, you know, makeup. He's like, "Hey, man, don't worry. I'm a professional. Been doing this for years." I said, "Well, I trust you, but if you kill me, my wife is going to come find you."
She was pissed.
So we shot that many, many different times where they would put the real blade right to my neck and then reverse out of it so that you could, when you sped back into it, it would, you know, look like they're cutting my head off. But I guess the cutting of the head off probably didn't play very well in test audiences, so they eliminated that, which allowed me to come back for, what was that? That was 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was allowed us to come back.
Into darkness.
Another one.
So Hendorf lives.
He does. He still lives.
Good.
And you know, after the third movie, I went to the premiere. I didn't know that I wasn't even in it. You know, so I've been doing all this promotion and stuff for the movie. And then I'm on the red carpet saying hi to everybody. And then I'm in the theater there. It was beautiful outdoor theater. And then I find out that my character is, you know, I'm like, "Hey, hon, here comes," I was with my wife. I'm like, "Here comes my scene."
Oh my.
She's like, "I didn't see you. Where was it?" I was like, I think they cut it, I think. And then, you know, I was like, "But there's another big one coming up here soon." So that next one comes up and it was totally different. I was like, "Oh, damn. I'm totally cut out of the movie." So afterwards I had to go to a party to meet with the director and with JJ and all the cast and everything. I was like, I was so embarrassed. I was like, "No, I can't go. I'm not in it," you know. But you know what? I'm going to go because I want to know why they cut me out. And, you know, what actor does that, by the way?
You're like, I want answer.
But I was just so infuriated. I was like, "Why did they cut me?" So I went in there and as diplomatically as I could, I pinned down both JJ and the director, and I said, what happened in the process? And they said, "Well, during the course of filming, we changed storylines, and your storyline didn't make it, and we tried all the way up until the final week of editing to keep you in the movie, but ultimately for running time, because these things are very calculated, have to be, you know, down to the very second. Every freaking second on these types of movies is calculated to have the, you know, the best effect, the best running time, all that stuff." And I guess my character's story arc didn't play into it.
Right. You know, a lot of times, you know, because I've produced a lot of movies and a lot of sci-fi, and with everything, you're rewriting the movie on the editing table, basically. You know,
Yeah.
you write on the script, then the director's writing it when they shoot it, and then they rewrite it in the editing. And sometimes they just want to go in a different angle. You know, they realize, you know, it's better to go into this storyline. Sometimes they're not happy with the shot they did. It has nothing to do with the story at all. You know, so. Who knows?
But I got JJ's assurance that out of that particular meeting, he's like, "Look, man, if we're doing another one, you're coming with us forever.
And Darth lives again.
You're the glitch in the Matrix."
All right. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, Darth. So speaking of which, Darth, when you found out you were cast as Farm Boy number 2. Darth here has been a lifelong Star Trek fan, and he found out he was cast in the 2009 movie. What kind of went through your head when you found that out, Darth?
Yeah, I was cast as a Farm Boy 47, but no, it was
that's a good number. That's the Star Trek number 47 for you nerds out there.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea it was Star Trek. So it wasn't, I think, until I saw the uniform where it was like, you know, there's no two ways about it. Like, all right, this is Star Trek. So I don't know, pretty damn exciting. Like, yeah, kind of tough to, right? All you guys would say the same thing. Like, it's kind of tough to keep your cool.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're a fan. So, you know, you just got to go, okay, I'm a professional. I can do this. So, you know.
And they called it something different, too. It was like Washington or something like that. I don't know.
Like a listening title or something.
Yeah, there was something. I mean, they have to have a different one every time because then people catch on. And sometimes they use 2 working titles.
I just remember one of the things was I don't know if you had this too, Darth, but riding into the sets in golf carts.
Oh, yeah.
Were covered in curtains.
Yep. And you're covered in a curtain too. You have like a big
right. They put you in
like a raincoat on, and you're it's a.
Yeah,
they don't want people to see you as you're walking to the trailer.
Well, because you know why? Because like where we shot in the blimp hangar, where they had the shuttlecrafts, where everybody was being assigned to the ships and stuff. There were apparently like people like on the roofs of like across the freeway. This is what we were told, with like high cameras getting in, because that was like the first Star Trek in like I think 9-10 years. So you know it was a big deal, and everybody was looking for spoilers and stuff like that. And so that's why they actually had us walking from you know one part of the set to the other, where you would think this is like in the middle of nowhere. There's no way, but they had people who and when you look later on, like a month later, you see they actually caught people in the black things, you know, transporting from this part of the set to that part.
Right. They were telling us on the set on Paramount, they're like, well, you know, helicopters and stuff. You're like, wouldn't you hear that? Are they up there? What about now, Rico? You want to walk us through when you kind of found out what it was and that you were cast for it, and how much you got excited about that as a gigantic nerd that you are?
I'm a nerd. Yeah, when I got called in for the fitting, they didn't tell me what it was for or what the character was. But when I walked in there and they gave me the outfit, I thought I was playing a Romulan, but I thought I was playing like the original series type Romulan, because the actual outfit had like an original series Romulan look to it in terms of like how the Romulans outfits were checkered and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying this on and I'm like, holy crap, I'm about to be Romulan. And it turned out that I was a council member because, you know, this was like a new type of outfit, but it was a council member's outfit. So that's pretty much when I knew what I was playing. It was really exciting though, because it was pretty much secretive all the way to once we got on the set. And that's when everything just pretty much really clicked together. I mean, I knew it was Star Trek, but I didn't know what I was playing. And, you know, the security in that place was just insane. you couldn't go to the bathroom without letting somebody know, without wearing things. You know, they made sure you didn't have your phone, you didn't have a camera, and all this kind of stuff. It was.
I let people know when I'm going to the bathroom anyway. But I was the same way where like we all kind of thought it was Star Trek. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, they're like futuristic military types or whatever, you know, whatever it was. And it had like a name that was kind of, but then when I went into the fitting and I saw the Starfleet Delta.
Yeah. See, as soon as you see that shirt
on my uniform that I'm putting on, I'm like, okay, so the jig is up. Okay. We know it's officially Star Trek now. And Tracee, you kind of have a different story from the rest of us in that you worked throughout Next Generation for years. You worked throughout Voyager and Deep Space Nine for years. So you were completely used to this. Was there anything different jumping into the movies as opposed to the regular series that you worked so many episodes on?
Well, the movies, yeah, they're very different. The filming and everything, the production. Well, you know, the Next Gen, when I first walked on the Next Gen, you know, stage, I was like, oh my God, this is like, whoa. I thought I was really on a ship. And then when I found out they put me in the, you know, when I went for the audition, they put me in the gold and black. Come to find out, that's the best color to be on the show because it runs two things on the ship. I didn't know that because I didn't even know what I was getting into when I got on the thing. Then, you know, met Michael Westmore. He gave me 15 different aliens to do on Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So there I was doing the, you know, the prosthetics and then working on the Next Gen and doing the prosthetics on the other shows. And then all of a sudden, Jonathan says, you know, come in, audition for the movie. And I waited for, I remember that day I was here and I went and I was waiting for the call. And I finally got the call and oh my God, I started crying. Because I got on the movie, and then, you know, one thing led to me getting my stunt on the movie with the explosives, and then, you know, they had me in all the colors. I've worn every color, and I was wearing red, and I didn't die. But the movie production for the Borg Queen, oh my God, that was insane. I had to literally, they had me, because I was her stunt double, they had me hoisted up. You know when she comes down from the ceiling? Just
the Borg
her half.
Queen, right? The Borg Queen.
Yeah, her half, you know, and then it connects. Well, he had me up, Jonathan, in this contraption that was like a plank board. I was strapped on it, so then they would turn it so I'd be facing like totally like down, like looking at, oh my God, all the people down there. And I'm afraid of heights. So, then, you know, I had to, you know, obviously, Rico, have you done like, you've done double work for people, right? So,
well, not double work, but I've been on rigs and whatnot.
Okay. Well, I had to like walk, you know, exactly how she walked and, you know, anyway, then I believe it was, almost when the movie was done or maybe in the middle before we got done, I got a call to come in to be her, stunt double arms.
Yeah.
Those are my arms grabbing his leg.
Grabbing Data, right? When Data gets pulled under the door.
Oh, yeah.
So
I thought I recognized your hands when you were going like this.
well, come make a joke at that. The episode Rascals, where they turn into the little kids.
Yeah.
I was Patrick Stewart's hands as a little boy when he was on the computer. They called me back for that. It's like weird shit that happens to me. I swear to God. I love it though.
The parts you play.
Huh?
The parts you play.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was like, you know, the commercial Mikey. Let's get Mikey to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, same thing when I did for Michael Dorn when there was some blood on the floor and it was a big, huge deal. I had to wipe the blood off of the ground using, you know, Michael Dorn, you know. And you don't think about those things watching a movie, but those things are
little cutaways.
Yeah, those cutaways are so important to the movie, and it was a big deal for them, you know.
Yeah,
you know, I just thought it was wow. You know, I never knew these things went on, but yeah.
Wow. I wanted to ask you, Jason. Now that it's all over until the next movie, is there a moment when you look back and you're like either surprised at how much you enjoyed it, or just was better than everything else? Is there like a memory or a moment that just kind of really stands out to you?
Well, you know, a lot of that happened not on camera, you know, obviously, the relationships that you make with people, and, you know, that there's just an incredible amount of time movie making when you're on set with people. You know, I've got a lot of great memories from spending time with Zoe and Chris and Simon and all those dudes. I had worked with John Cho before, and I had in the, well, not before the first Star Trek, and when I did some sort of I think it was some sort of a sitcom that he was in after they did. He was in the Harold and Kumar thing, or
right.
But anyways, we had kind of a cold relationship. Like in the first Star Trek, he like totally ignored me, you know, pretty much the entire time on set, and just wanted to talk to everybody else. And I was like, okay, I get it, man. I get it. You're a big deal. And then, you know, the second one, I didn't even see him. We weren't like, and I don't think we had any scenes together. And then the third one, I was with him like constantly. And you know, we were just sitting around on set one day, and, you know, he was talking to me. He was like, you know, starting to open up a little bit. And I was like, man, you've changed a lot. He's like, what are you talking about? It was like, you were so cold to me back, you know, in the old days, man. And he was like, no, man, that's not true. I was just nervous as hell being around all those other people. So I didn't know how to behave. He's like, and look, I'm a total idiot. So don't worry about me. He was so great. It was, you know, Zoe too. She's my girl. We, you know, had a lot of conversations about our kids and families, and, you know, they're really genuine, very warm people. You know, all of them. Simon was, you know, great, very funny. I think he played a big part of me being able to come back on the second one, because he was co-writing it.
You might have something to do with it.
And yeah, it might have something. I emailed him actually when I heard that they were doing a second one. I was like, so man, am I gonna, you know, be in it? And he's like, absolutely. We got to keep the band together, man. Nice. I was like, right on.
You know, so I'm glad you mentioned Zoe too. We've just got a few minutes left here, but it seems as though your character and Zoe Saldana's character, like that might be the person that you're closest with. At least your character is closest with, you know, and that's always like an interesting thing to see from episode to episode or movie to movie, is how the friendships develop and how the relationships and all this. And I'm really hoping that there's like a fourth installment, you know, where there's just more of that. There's more of which people become like really good friends, you know, who's going to be the Kirk and Spock, and who's going to be, you know, the best friends or the frenemies or whatever. Do you have any ideas about that or any hopes?
Man, I'm really hoping for a fourth installment as well, just like everybody else. I hear rumblings, you know, directors being hired, deals being made, and then, you know, silence. Everything goes dark. And you know, I know that there's a big desire there from the cast, and from, I'm sure JJ would love to do another one as well. I'm sure the studio would probably want to do another one, but it's just it's, you know, the reality is it's all about money. Right. And they have to, you know, because there's kind of been a perception that the first one made a lot, the second one made some, and the third one kind of broke even, which I don't believe. I think it actually made money, but there is an appetite. The world is changing. You know, the appetite for what kind of movies is changing as well. And I think there's been a cry out from the Star Trek community that I have seen and witnessed, for people wanting it to have more themes from the original series, something that's more about, you know, personalized stories that, you know, are intricate and thought-provoking, and, you know, these types of situations instead of just blowing up and, explosions and lasers and all that kind of stuff. So I think if they can develop something that's a little lower budget and can, use the story to drive the movie the way that the original series and to an extent the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and stuff like that, I think it'd be really fun.
Right. More story, less explosions. Yeah.
Yes.
And some of the movies were like that too. I mean, they were able to do, really, really good stories in the movies as well. That's a good point. So with the last couple minutes left, I do want to ask a couple more of you, like Rico, looking back, what was your favorite memory or the biggest moment? Was it the moment you realized it was Star Trek? Was it the time Jonathan Cho was like, dude, I thought you were cold to me?
Yeah, you had a conversation too, Jason? No, I would say definitely the best moment was the scene when we shot the scene at, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, at the end when Kirk is basically exonerated and he's given command of the Enterprise. And right at the end, how the camera pans up and you see Spock. You see Prime Spock. And, he says his lines and things like that. So we were shooting that day and JJ stopped and he was like, hey, everybody, can I have your attention, please? I want to, we have a very, very honored guest today. And if you all just look upward, we have Mr. Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock in the original series, all the movies, And dude, I swear to you, it was like, that was the scene where everybody was in the big ceremony, the big hall. And so everybody stood up. We clapped. It was just like a huge woo! It's Leonard Nimoy, and he waved. He gave us the Vulcan salute, and it was just a wonderful experience. Being a part of that.
That's amazing. It's a great moment.
It was beautiful.
What about you, Darnell? Biggest moment, was it when you were playing with blood or what?
You cracked me up. I can't even think now. Probably my favorite. It's so many. It's just behind the scenes. Just seeing all these people from, that I grew up loving, meeting them in real person. That was really something for me. And I was taking acting classes at the time. My acting teacher was one of the directors for T.J. Hooker. So he said, "Oh, tell William Shatner." I said hi. So I went over and told William Shatner. Oh, cool. And then he said, "Take a picture with me." And this is before cell phones. This is before anybody had cameras. So him and I think it was his grandkids were there on the set, and they took a picture because I was in makeup with him and his kids, and that was special to me. I never saw the picture because, but it still was,
Yeah.
Cool that
it's out there somewhere.
With
wow. Darth, what was your biggest memory or fondest memory or coolest mom?
Seeing all the cast, the main cast, probably mostly Zachary Quinto, just because I was a big Heroes fan at the time, but just being on that set, the destroyed medical bay. Oh man, just seeing all the just torn up bugs. It's just so damn cool. I could just live in that little set,
hanging out with Amer, right?
Yeah.
Carl Urban.
Him, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
Tracee, now talking specifically the movies, because you probably got a million memories from all the episodes. Was there something that really stood out for you? Was it reaching and grabbing Data's hands or his legs, I guess? What was it?
That was cool, but I have to say, when I was called to play me, but then to play Alice's stunt double, was pretty darn cool for me. Yeah. But I was
getting blown up on the bridge was pretty cool too, though.
Pretty
right?
radical, yeah. And then I kind of knew something was going on when Patrick came up and said, "You're going to be my cultural date." And every time we were in 10 forward in my little turquoise getup, they'd always sit me with him. He was getting mail. I just have so many wow memories. I mean, when I played, you remember my one of my aliens, the Antikin. To me, it was like a wolf dog.
Right.
I met Sharon Stone in that outfit out in the alleyway when I went out to get air, and then from that I got invited to her wrap party for the movie Sliver. I mean, I just had so many weird, cool things happen. But yeah, I'd have to say the first movie was pretty rad for me. And then that's when I got my first Star Trek tattoo with my name on it.
Oh,
and that
whoa.
was that was the communicator on my from that movie, so it meant something to me. That was like that was one of my major stunts I ever done.
Awesome.
So
is that your name or Lieutenant J?
Lieutenant J.
Okay, awesome. Great. Okay, so we do have to run, guys. We're out of time here. Darth has given me the wink, like he's like, "Let me go. I got to go work on G.I. Joe now," or whatever it is. But thanks very much for joining us, guys. We're going to have all of their information in the description boxes below, as well as any projects they'd like to promote and or charities. Very big special thanks to Darnell Davis, Tracee Cocco, Rico E. Anderson, Jason Matthew Smith, and Darth Schuhe. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you soon.